Pace car is off. We're ready to go green here in California. Looks a lot warmer than it does this weekend in real life. Chase Elliott leads the field to the green flag. Stages are 20, 20, 40 here today with a field run approximately 23-24 laps, so they will be in a position to potentially split the final stage in half. Jay, we are fresh off the Daytona 500 here in this 2023 NR2003 season. We didn't see a surprise winner last week. We saw Ryan Blaney finally win a Daytona 500, which we thought would be coming for some time. It's finally happened. He's locked into the playoffs. He's got 25 weeks to prepare and be relaxed as possible before he has to make that playoff run. An absolutely massive advantage for that 12 team.
Yeah, but you know that he wants more wins this season, Gary. He wants to get himself a victory lane more times than just that one time at the Daytona 500. Probably the biggest win, not probably the biggest win of his career to this point. Was working so hard to finally get that win and finally did it, Gary. Now he's to the inside there. He was 3 wide for a moment down the front straightaway. He is 3 wide again with a couple of Hendrick boys to the outside there. Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson to the outside. Blaney so far making up some good ground on the inside, but it's Chase Elliott so far, Gary, pulling away from the lead, still side by side behind him for second and third place. Briscoe now giving a shove to Logano down the back straightaway. William Byron gets in front of his teammate for a moment, then goes back down to the inside into the clutches of Ryan Blaney. So maybe you don't want to be right up against the wall, but kind of in between that first and second seam a little bit. Seems like the dominant line to be in.
Larson looking pretty quick here in that number 5 early on. All Hendrick cars except Alex Bowman right now up in that top 6 at least. You can see this is where we really need to pay attention to. This is where the action's at right now. Almirola here, and who knows, is this his final season or not? We don't know.
Wow, they are 4 wide actually, you're right. But here at Auto Club, Gary, I think this might be the one track they can actually make 4 wide work, and they did right there. Normally we see that in moments later you expect a crash, but actually Cody Ware and Truex both got in the wall a little bit right there. But you were mentioning Truex having a good season virtually last year and a bad season IRL. I think that so far through our first 2 seasons, Truex has been kind of flip side. He had a pretty good season in 2021, bad
and struggled
first season, yeah, and really struggled in our season, and last year was the exact opposite of that. So
it looks like, though, if you're going to make the move on the inside, you need a hole to slip up into. Larson might have that right here. Let's see. He's going to try. No, Byron's going to fight back this time on the exit of turn 2 as they're all single file. We're already halfway through this stage this time by. Daniel Suarez having a strong run. Larson slips up in front of the 8 of Kyle Busch. And
every time we come up to the front, Gary, I feel like we're seeing the 24 and the 5 making passes together. These Hendrick cars seem like they're pretty strong right now.
Absolutely got some speed there behind the 5 and the 24. Up front is still Chase Elliott. Running out of time is Chase Elliott pretty quick here. He's hoping that the time runs out for the stage win because Logano's all over it. But now we're seeing a little bit of 2x2 action here. Larson, Byron, Briscoe, Busch, and Suarez, Blaney. Chase Elliott has managed a gap over Logano and Hamlin. They've been there the whole time. Hamlin's up to the outside here trying to make something happen, but Logano just doesn't seem to have enough to pass the 9. Maybe he needs a shove from the 11. Drafting help might be what's required here to make this pass.
First stage of the second race of the season, but it is for Chase Elliott, Gary, because he's got a lot of momentum coming off turn 4. He is going to win stage number 1 easily, dominate stage number 1 here in Auto Club, not even get past or lead at all. He pulled away from Joey Logano a little bit there, who fell back to Denny Hamlin, and now the all-important pit stops, Gary. That's going to be the thing to focus on. Will everybody have a clean pit stop? Will they all come out on track where they went in?
Elliott leads out of turn 2 on the restart here on the start of stage 2. It's going to be 15 laps of racing when they get back to the line, so a few less laps to work with here as the stage ends on the end of lap 40, and then we're going to have 40 laps to the finish of this race with a green flag pit stop guaranteed, potentially, unless cautions of course happen. Jay, that 22 looking to the inside just about there on the exit of turn 4. Logano couldn't find a way in stage 1 to pass this 9 of Elliott. He is looking, but I don't know if he's got enough there from that 11 to push him forward. Larson in the background as well, trying to move up into 4th. Is all tucked up in behind that 22. Jay, he makes a move to the inside. Could this finally be the move?
The first move of the race for the lead for here from Joey Logano against Chase Elliott. We've seen the inside be a little bit stronger. Logano almost clear, not quite clear yet. Still the quarter panelist Chase Elliott of Joey Logano. They're still side by side. Gary off turn 2. This is going to let Byron, Chase Elliott, Suarez maybe get into this action. Here's Hamlin slipping back, but it's still side by side for the lead.
Logano again to the inside into turn 1. Is this the time where we see the move? No, it's going to be an exact replica of a lap ago there where that 9 has just enough on the exit of the corner to remain out in front down this back straightaway. But Jay, that 22 is holding on pretty tough down towards turn 3. I think another couple attempts he might finally be able to pull this off, depending on what that 24 is willing to do.
Yeah, last lap he fell in behind Chase Elliott. This time he was still side by side, and in turn 3 this time, Gary, he's got good momentum even coming towards the exit of the corner. Still side by side. They're even this time down the front straightaway with a little bit of draft up coming from Kyle Larson as well. They're still side by side, way more side by side than we have seen them so far. Gary, heading into turn number 1, these two, Logano, Chase Elliott. Finally, Chase Elliott has some competition for the lead of this race, and looks like Logano clear now. He's going to slide up in front of Chase Elliott. He hasn't done it yet. Sliding now, sliding now. Elliott coming with a head of momentum. Checks up, and Logano, Gary, goes to the lead of this race. Chase Elliott just got passed, which is not something I thought we would see.
The 19 of Martin Truex Jr., though, we have seen him go absolutely nowhere, and there is no signs of improvement after that pit stop for that 19 car. They're going to need to take a major swing at it here at the end of stage 2 because they clearly have nothing right now. Ty Dillon actually running up inside the top 20 right now, which for a Spire car, pretty impressive run here. Ty Dillon, of course, new to this team this season, claims they can win multiple races at this team. Obviously, maybe a bit of an exaggeration of an expectation. Here comes William Byron. Chase Elliott maybe falling off at the end of this stage here. We saw him lose the lead, but now here comes Byron. Could be the second guy to make a pass on him and maybe even bring Larson with him.
Yeah, Larson going to go right to the inside as well. And right now, Chase Elliott up on the outside line. Not really the line you want to be in this far into the run. And right behind him, Gary, is Justin Haley, who's making his way forward as well. The 31 car has looked really good in this race, but Kyle Larson not past Elliott yet. Elliott gets the run back to the outside. Those Hendrick guys are kind of fighting, Gary, and allowing Joey Logano to really walk away with this thing. We've seen so far that if you're going to pass the leader, A, it's going to take a couple laps, but B, it also might take some drafting up from behind. And right now, they're letting themselves
Elliott again
away from that 22 of Logano as Elliott slips further up the track. No challenge really so far from for Chase Elliott from Kyle Larson from behind. Byron is there. He's looking a little bit, but not going to be enough, I think. He's looking to the inside. Logano kind of chases him down the track. Byron
hold on.
Turn 4, Gary. There is a race down the first straightaway for stage 2 victory.
Here they go, side by side. It's going to be William Byron getting the stage win. How about that? I did not see that one coming there. One heck of a pass from the 24 of William Byron right at the end of the stage. That was a power move and a half. He dethrones Logano at the top step, and Hendrick Motorsports sweep the first 2 stages here from Auto Club of the pit lane. Jay, but look at this. Kyle Larson up in a second there. Elliott and Logano both a bit slow right there. Wow, there you have it. Oh, well, there we have it right there.
Again for Chase Elliott.
And Logano is definitely going to have some damage on that front end, as you can see it right there. Will he have to come back into the pit lane? We're going to have to wait and see, but we'll be back momentarily for stage 3 where we see what happens. Pace cars pulling off for the final stage. Could that be the final restart? We're about to see William Byron out in front, but look at this. Joey Logano's front bumper completely torn off there in repairs. Logano goes from a threat to win the race to completely out of the mix. A couple drivers mired back in traffic after pit stops as well. Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, a few main notables. But Jay, Hendrick Motorsports has been on it here today. They've kept 3 cars in the top 5, top 6 for the majority of the day. And now here they are again in the top 5 aside from Alex Bowman. But Justin Haley is in the mix and wants something to say about it here. He was fast in real life in the Clash qualifying, didn't do anything else for the rest, but here he is in that Celsius machine in the mix late here, as we do know as well, a green flag pit stop will be coming at some point.
And the 24 William Byron looked really strong to end stage number 2. Gary made the last lap pass on Joey Logano to win the second stage, but Kyle Larson looking to the inside right now of his teammate of William Byron. The 5 cars have been making his way forward this entire race so far. It's time to go now, Gary, in the third stage. Just less, or right at 35 laps to go in this race, and Kyle Larson just
not even a contest
right away of his teammate William Byron.
Oh,
he's now gonna get almost turned by Justin Haley, but he stays in it, and luckily both of those guys stayed going straight. And now, Gary, Kyle Larson just did a power move around his teammate. We've seen passes go from impossible to happening in one corner. The 99 of Suarez has been slowly kind of falling off a little bit ever since the beginning of this race. He's been up inside the top 5 and still inside the top 10, but just been kind of losing positions, not really gaining anything, and slowly falling or making his way backward. Some other drivers are not making their way forward. Bit of contact right there between the 43 and the 41, but they all save it once again. So far, Gary, we have not had an incident for caution
this season.
A caution for incident this season, yeah.
Yes, we are crash free so far to kick off this season. Now, last year I believe we were crash free aside from the Elliott and Larson tango out of the pit lane here in Auto Club, and things tend to kick off around Las Vegas area now, as we can see Bell actually going for a move on the inside of Chase Elliott. Does he have enough? Doesn't quite look like it up front though. See Bubba Wallace trying to continue his way forward. Alex Bowman as well trying to get going forward. He's in the 16th place, which is the highest he's run recently here. And look at this, Bubba Moving through past 77, that's up to 13th. Byron starting to close in a little bit again on Kyle Larson. Close in almost a full 10th that lap. So this battle up front certainly not over by any means. And I think we can really just expect it to come down to that green flag pit stop that's coming up here momentarily.
And get up inside the top 10. It looks like I might see somebody pitting in the background. This is 45 of Tyler Reddick into the pit lane by himself. The 12 of Ryan Blaney into the wall. So the first pit stop of the day, Gary, 15 laps to go. Is going to be the 45 of Tyler Reddick. Actually, 16 laps to go.
So they're going to try and short pit. Is anyone up front? Larson, Jay, is going to be the first one to pit of the leaders, actually. So curveball thrown at William Byron forces his hand, of course. Now as Elliott catches well on the exit of turn 4. But look at all the cars pitting right here as they head down into the pit lane. Kyle Larson leaving his pit stall. He doesn't have to worry about Chase Elliott this year on the exit of the pit lane, but we're definitely going to watch just to see if anybody has to worry about anyone in the pit lane here. Harvick and Ty Dillon side by side there as you see Bubba Wallace. That's where it happened last year, was when a car was coming back off that really light gray section. But Jay, look at this. Tyler Reddick, he pitted earlier than anybody. He was way behind. He's now passing cars that were in the top 10.
He was outside, I believe, the top 20 when he pitted, and Tyler Reddick now might be in second place, depending on how all these pit stops shake out. He's going to be in front of the 20 car of Christopher Bell. He just flew around all those guys.
Slow pit stop for Daniel Suarez, who was towards
Chase
the top
Elliott
10.
too.
Yes, Elliott as well. Larson to the lead. Byron currently in second. But I don't think that's going to last. We'll see here. Out of turn 2, Tyler Reddick. What a huge pit call for that team. They have gone from outside of the top 20 to pitting by themselves to bring themselves into second place and bring an Alliance car, Christopher Bell, Joe Gibbs Racing, into third place with them.
Yeah, Christopher Bell did a pretty good job on the pit lane too. Gary got himself at second off the pit lane, now third on the track, and looks like Byron might be okay back there to stay in fourth. In the
Ty
background.
Gibbs
He's
and
got
Bubba
54,
Wallace.
The 23 of Bubba Wallace as well, going 3 wide to get around him. The 24 doesn't have the momentum. You got the 54 and the 23 look like they might easily pass him. And if they do, Gary, it's going to be
a power
1,
move.
2, 3, 4. The 23 of Bubba gets around him. The 54 Ty Gibbs has the momentum on the outside, and suddenly, Gary, the Toyotas pulled the strategy call of the season right there.
Now he looks in the mirror, sees exactly what he wants to see, a side-by-side battle behind him.
Yeah, these two side-by-side back here, Gary, the 20 and the 45, that's going to hurt them, and that's not going to let them catch the 5 car of Kyle Larson at all. We're now under 10 laps to go. Now the 20 gets clear of the 45 right there, so maybe they can draft a little bit together. Again, they are closer together this lap than they have been previously, so getting a bit more bump draft, a bit more together than they have been previously. But I don't know, Gary. I don't think the draft is as big of an effect as I thought it was earlier in the race, and I don't think those two are going to have time to run down the 5 of Kyle Larson, especially with the strong car that he has. This 5 car, aside from the 24, might be the strongest one in this field. Maybe even the 23 as well, because the 23 set the fastest lap of the race earlier too. So next week in Las Vegas, Gary, we're still out west for a couple more races. We got Las Vegas, we got Phoenix coming up too, and I think Vegas is one you and I are really excited to get to, because I think every year we go there is some massive chaos that pops up. I mean, you think back to Vegas in season 1, where there was just a massive the massive crash with Kevin Harvick, and also as well, we've had those 4 cars run down the 20 and the 45
Byron
now, and
blew them all by.
Past and blew
Yeah.
right by him, and it's now the leader of the group. This 24 car is still really strong, Gary. Before the 5, they've all been really fast, but Kyle Larson loves Auto Club. He's gonna be disappointed to see this 2-mile track go. He's got this win pretty much in the bag and on the final lap down the back straightaway.
Kyle Larson, we talked about him earlier. We said this is the guy that can pull it off, and well, we were right. It's not even scripted. We're just good. Down into turn 3 and 4 for the final time. Kyle Larson, it's not even a contest. William Byron chasing, but out of turn 4, Larson, well, he's going to punch his ticket early into the playoffs down the front straightaway. Kyle Larson wins an Auto Club over William Byron. Hendrick Motorsports 1-2. Joe Gibbs Racing brings it home third there. Great days for the 2311 cars of Reddick and Bubba Wallace. Austin Cindric leads the Penske train. Chase Elliott does rebound into the top 10 along with Kevin Harvick. But overall, Jay, a calm day here in Auto Club, of course. We expected to see more. Eric Jones did retire from the race, by the way, with a clutch failure. But still, calm day